What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B-Hop Radio Shout, and as always, I got my podcast partner off in this thing, OG Gangsta Wicked, a.k.a. Big Galaxy of Ghetto Mafia.
And I'm going to tell you something today.
See that?
No, I'm going to tell you something today.
See, what's going on
I
here?
got my Decatur partner with me today.
I'm glad you got the Decatur partner in here.
No, because the last few interviews, y'all had me in here with your West Side partners, you know what I'm saying? Y'all looking at me, I'm scared to say shit, you know what I'm saying? But I got bag, I brought bag up
You brought bag
and
up
you already
today.
know I got Turk. You know,
Okay,
Turk gonna ride.
That's my partner.
No, Turk gonna ride with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he'll give me 5 minutes on your head.
Who we got in here though with?
Man, I got a legend, a Decatur legend. This is probably my most favorite interview, man. Quincy Carter, man, former Dallas Cowboy quarterback, former UGA quarterback.
Come on.
Georgia, I bleed red and black.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? And goddamn former Southwest DeKalb quarterback, man. You see what colors I got on today? Do you
Come
think
on now.
Thought this on purpose? I did this on purpose.
See, I didn't know you were doing it on purpose.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Rashawn Ali, man? What's happening,
Rashawn,
man?
what up,
You know
yo?
Coach Godfrey, man.
Yeah.
Yo, this was back in the day. See, they used to come. He wasn't amazed.
Talk to him.
He wasn't amazed.
Come on, man.
Man, I told him.
Talk to him.
Don't get. I can pour the record something now. You know, Mays was a week off. You know what I'm saying?
Now, we didn't have the greatest football team, but we had some of the
Basketball.
greatest players ever born.
Basketball.
See, we might not have been on the field, okay, but we had some of the greatest players that you ever met in your damn life.
I mean, y'all were little brothers since I went to camp, but I give you that right there. It ain't no different. Columbia was the same way. They used to beat our head then, too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, we used to catch hair from Doug every damn 5 minutes. Nigga. You talking about it was real over there.
Yes,
but
sir.
I mean, Quincy, man, welcome to the show. I mean, we got to take it from the top and back to the future at the same time, man. I mean, playing at Southwest DeKalb, then coming back and coaching at the same time. How does that make you feel being on that field where your dream got crunk up?
Honestly, man, hey, and appreciate y'all having me too, man.
I appreciate you
I
coming
feel at
through.
home.
Yeah.
I can feel this energy.
Yeah.
But honestly, man, it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, because I went to college literally for sports studies. So I went to college to coach.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And then to bring it back home, to feel that Buck Godfrey spirit too. You just gave a shout out to his daughter too,
Yeah.
Rashawn Ali.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to her. She just took off the galaxy. Didn't
Come
she?
on now.
And doing some great things.
Exactly.
But to feel Coach Godfrey's spirit, to know what he instilled into you, and then now you giving it back to your own school, to your own community, it's a dream come true. It is. That's the only way I can describe it.
At that time when you were playing, though, man, did you know that you were NFL bound, or was you just a young man playing ball on the east side having the time of your goddamn life?
Well, I always had NFL dreams, and that came from Gresham Park. You know what I mean? With the Coach Calverts of the world, with the Coach Harrises, with the Coach, Beatties. So I always had them dreams.
Yeah.
Growing up right there off Custer Avenue in my Mountain Park apartment. So, hey, that's that east side. But them dreams, I always had them. But to really get that authentic love, discipline, and just the whole fabric of what it means to be a young man, trying to achieve all your goals, man. I got that in high school. I got that with Coach Godfrey. I got that with, the Coach Carters of the world. I got that with Coach Davenport. They were raising men. And so to have that instilled in me and to give it back, but I got off a little bit. But yes, they put the whole battery pack in me once I got that and went through what it meant to be a Southwest DeKalb Panther.
Senior year, though, man, it's college time. It's recruiting time in this thing. How did you know that you was going to UGA, and was there any close seconds in this thing?
Well, I didn't, honestly, because UGA was actually, they were on probation when I was coming out of high school. Yeah, so I didn't think that it'll be, a few, I was thinking it'd be a few years before we could actually play in a bowl game. So they were kind of in my, top 5, but, I wanted to go to college and play a bowl game. My first initial college I wanted to play at was Charlie Ward School, and that's Florida State.
Yeah.
They signed a quarterback, Dan Kendra, I'll never forget, the year before. Last minute deal. I mean, nobody knew he was going to sign there, and they ended up signing him. And so, I didn't think that I was going to get the shot that I wanted. So, Georgia Tech, one of my coaches, Coach Steve Davenport, was a product of Georgia Tech alumni, and I really got close with the family down here at Georgia Tech, and so that's initially who I signed with. I signed with Georgia Tech coming out of high school. I had my baseball buddies from East Cobb, that I was going to be going and play baseball with. But fortunate, I got drafted in baseball in the second round. And so I chose baseball first and went to play baseball for about 2 or 3 years, and then came back to the University of Georgia where, I always kind of wanted to play, in Athens anyway. And so I had a coach that I believed that was going to give me a shot to start. Quarterback at the University of Georgia, being a black quarterback, because there wasn't too many before me. The James Jackson's really the only one I remember before me. So Coach Donnan, was able to convince me that he was going to give me a shot. Then I had my boys down there, Thad Parker and Jonas Jennings and Marcus Stroud, some dudes I really wanted to play with, Champ Bailey, of course,
Wow.
Heck yeah! So it was a no-brainer after that.
That time playing baseball, though, man, what was that like? And was you tempted to stay over there?
I'm gonna tell you this, Ricky Ball, and we just talked about the story about me meeting Andre Rison for the first time ever in Ricky Ball. Ricky Ball was fun. But when I got to the regular season that next year, because we started Ricky Ball right after the draft in June, and then March, you go out to Arizona for spring training, and you go to your prospective teams. Well, hell, I went to a team in Rockford, Illinois, about an hour outside of Chicago, in late March, early April, and it was still 30, 40 degrees.
Damn.
So in this 1997, I'm not even a whole full year out of high school yet. But them thoughts of going up the bat, man, at 30, 40 degrees, man, trying to get warm just to get some at-bats. In April and May, heck, it didn't really warm up to June because we pretty much played all Midwest teams anyway. Them thoughts started to creep in about, then you used to be pretty good at quarterback. So they started to creep in then. And then I got the itch. That off season in '97 is when I started going to Georgia games and sneaking around a little bit. I didn't want to make too much noise because I knew I had to go back and play in '98 because that was part of my contractual agreement or whatever. So I knew I had to go back and play in '98. But it was about that time to play some football though.
With you.
Yeah.
It's on you.
Yeah. What was it like, Quincy? I see a lot of little studies they do on the hardest places to play in the SEC. They be saying Death Valley. They be saying this. Tell us what it's like, man, on a Saturday night in Athens. What's that environment like? Man,
that's so crazy. I just seen a video, actually. Somebody put a video of our DeKalb County little site on Facebook, and they put that Georgia-Tennessee game up. I don't know if you remember that one, though, Wick. But it was a night game too, and I ain't played too many night games. But we played Tennessee that night. They had beat us about 9, 10 games straight, and I'm just sitting there actually looking at the video. It was crazy. But man, that atmosphere at night though is crazy. Matter of fact, they tore down the goalpost about a minute and a half.
No, that wasn't the hot nail boot. That was in Tennessee.
No, that was in Tennessee. Yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, that was the next year.
That was the next year. The hot nail boot.
That was next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Veron Haynes.
Okay.
But tore down the goalpost. The students had to get kicked off the field about a minute and a half. But somebody was describing it on Facebook, and it kind of hit me though. Tim Wansley ended up picking off a pass with about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to go, and he said it sounded like a rocket went off when Tim Wansley picked that ball off. So, yeah, man, the atmosphere is crazy though. It's crazy.
Wow. Did you ever meet Larry Munson?
I did. Good people.
Really?
Good people. Yeah, good people.
He's legendary.
What I'm saying?
Like,
yeah.
What was that conversation like when you did meet him? Did he give you any advice or anything?
It was all business. Larry Munson knows nothing but Georgia football. You know what I mean? So it was all business. Him just talking about the history of Georgia.
Yeah.
And, making sure I understand what the history was, which I was pretty fond of it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it was all business, though. But it was cool, though, talking to somebody that you know what I mean? Just love your school so much. Gonna give his best every goddamn Saturday, to give us that sound that we looking for and that play-by-play action that we looking for.
Mm-hmm. What is it like, Quincy, when you leave high school, you the man in DeKalb County. You're a little younger than me, but we knew that we had, a legend coming up out of Southwest DeKalb. What is it like when you transitioning from high school to college, from college to the pros? Which jump is bigger? Which culture shock is bigger? Is it the college to Dallas? Is it Georgia to Dallas, or is it Southwest to Georgia? Which shock is you had to get used to more?
I think it's the high school to college. And the reason why I say that is because now you're 18, 19 years old, and now you're getting ready to go play against some grown men, which I had a little bit of advantage because I was a couple years older coming out when I started playing. But then also it's dealing with class. It's dealing with the fans, with you walking on campus and you having some bad games and these fans and students letting you know what time it is. Yeah, opposed to the NFL, I mean, you living your life. You at your house, you got your own privacy. You drive where, you want to drive to. In college, you know what I mean? You got a couple routes, especially during school. You got to see people. You know what I mean? You got to face the crowd. And so you got to deal with so many different elements, keeping up with your grades. You know what I mean? Your teammates, being in your business all day long, and you trying to be a leader, but at the same time want a fresh breath of air sometimes too. But in the league, hey, you on your own schedule. You invite whoever you want to invite to your house. You know what I mean? And so, you living your life on, your own terms. In college, you ain't living your life on your own terms. So it's much more challenges from that high school to college jump.
Yeah, because I get it.
The pressure, though. I mean, with them fans and boosters and everybody else going crazy at Georgia. I mean, how the hell did you deal with all of that?
Honestly, man, I tell people this, and if you ain't from here, you don't understand it. But if you are, from Georgia and knew what Southwest DeKalb was about, then you get it. I followed Eric Johnson, who, took us to a state championship in 1990. You got the Gordon Clementes, who played in the Hassan Grahams, the Eric Jones, and I'm only talking about my quarterback position.
Right.
What I mean?
Right.
So, and then when you mix in the Hassan Grahams, the Terry Beckhams, the Hank Green, the Frank Williams, the Chris Wards, the Chris Tuckers, the level of, of legends that you followed, there were already expectations. Playing in front of 20,000, 30,000, playing in the dome, against the Valdosas, the Warner Robins, you know what I mean?
Lowndes County.
Yeah, I got so much experience in college, of who, the fabric of being a Southwest DeKalb Panther, but then not only that, having that Atlanta next door to you, you know what I mean? Expectations of being great. And then when you, throw Dion in the mix, the Andre Rison's in the mix, the Dominique Wilkins in the mix, and then having our love and support around you, from Decatur. And knowing, hey, listen, you got greatness on you, and you better do something about it. And we behind you.
Come on now.
Straight from the dick.
Come on, man.
Straight from the dick.
He gonna put us out. We don't do that yet. He gonna put us out. Cause they don't got one of them anthems. Now, Tip just did one for him.
It's called Players Ball.
That's East Point. You claiming everybody now. That's East Point. Because you hold me to the fire when I say I'm from East Atlanta. I know you ain't. You ain't from Atlanta, nigga.
Southwest Atlanta's everything. East Point
all went out.
Okay, but no, this is my question though, Quincy. Being a black quarterback
Yeah.
in college and in the NFL, man, did you face any criticisms that might have been more harsh than your counterparts?
Absolutely.
Now, what
Absolutely.
the hell was that like, sir?
Yeah, man, listen, it was, I knew what I was facing.
Yeah.
It's funny. I keep telling this story, but me and Coach Godfrey, we went to go see her son Graham at Georgia.
Yeah.
And we was having some conversations about me possibly playing there and what it would be like. So, I was able to get some good, profound wisdom of what it was going to be like, who I was.
Yeah.
During that time, heck, it was just a few of them. The Rodney Peets, the Randall Cunninghams, I think Steve McNair, came in '98, rest in heaven to him too. That was my dude. Yeah. But I understood what it meant. I seen Charlie Ward, in high school. I watched Sean Jones, here at Georgia Tech win a national championship. So I knew, what I was facing. So I didn't make any excuses. And I faced, some hell of a time, especially in some tough losses down there in Georgia. Especially coming in, being a quarterback after Troy Aikman. Right. And him winning 3 Super Bowls and facing the music of, it ain't the most popular thing to be a black quarterback, but I wanted that challenge. You know what I mean? I didn't want to play another position. You know what I mean? And I knew exactly what I was facing. Yeah. Now, I think about some of these things because, during our times, 90s, mid-90s, early 2000s, we were still trying to prove to ourselves that we were a passer first. And I think back now, and I look at my career from high school, to college, I stopped using my legs as much as I should have, and I go back and look at stuff like that and it kicks me. So them are some of the, the pressures that you facing, thinking about your game and trying to make it, but then trying to prove to somebody else that you're a passer. You know what I mean? And that you can throw the football. Yeah. I did too much of that though. So, but it feels good to be able to have paved the way for these boys that don't have to, these boys now don't even have to go run a 40 at the combine. Right. We know you can run. Yeah. You know what I mean? And some of them don't have to throw. Because now we know you can throw. They're throwing from 7, 8 years old, playing all this 7-on-7 now. Yeah. So they're better passers now. You know what I mean? So, it's an honor to know that we've helped, the generation of black quarterbacks now. But it had its challenges, though. But I faced it head on.
What was the main time that just pissed you the hell off and you were like, okay, now y'all just giving the player hell out here?
It was the South Carolina game. We lost up in South Carolina to start my junior year, and I ended up throwing 5 picks. Shout out to my boy Charlie Strong. I don't know if y'all remember him or not. Yeah, ran that 3-5-3 defense on us, and it was the first time really it was coming out. And I threw a pick to the linebacker, a defensive end, a safety, a corner. I didn't know what I was seeing out there, and getting back on campus, and me and it's funny. I don't know why we decided. It was something like on a Monday or a Tuesday. It was after we lost or whatever. And it was something on a Monday or Tuesday, a little black gathering that we used to have at UGA or whatever. And I don't know what it was. It was at the Tate Center. We decided to go because I don't really go out during the week, but it was a little get together, man. It was on campus, so, there wasn't no alcohol involved or whatever, but we ended up going, me and Terrence Edwards ended up going together. And we get back out, of the event or what have you. I got a nice little note on the car. Nigga, you lost this game for us and this and that. So that was the first time, that I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Yeah, because everything, you've heard I've heard some other things during the, games or what have you. But to face it, you reading a note and like, wait a minute now, somebody watched me go on this, because when I tell you now, it was a black event. and it wasn't, you know what I mean, other races there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to come outside, and get that note, me and Terrence always laugh about this story though. Yeah, that's when it got real for me.
My God.
Yeah.
Quinn, I want to talk to you too about, and I talked to Andre about this. For y'all don't know out there, Andre Rising, and we talked, for a minute about. He was trying to break it down to me back when he was here in Atlanta. Dre had signed. I don't know if you know about this, B.I. He had signed. I think he had got a $16 to $20 million deal.
My God.
Now this was on a Monday. And my thing was, I'm like, shit, my nigga just made $16 million. And Dre said, nigga, I ain't made 16 goddamn $million. Break down how, the money flows in from the NFL, NBA. When you see a athlete and they say this deal is for $50 million, we be thinking as regular fans, man, this guy's set for life.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that money would you get if you if you got $50 million deal? How much money would Quincy Carter really take home?
$50 million deal. That's depending on what state you in. 25 of that's gone. I never forget playing for the Jets, man. We got taxed for being a New York resident, and then you got taxed for playing in New Jersey because the stadium was in New Jersey. Yeah. So I took a major hit leaving Dallas. Yeah. So 50 of that, half of that is gone. And then when you add in your agent, getting his money, you add in maybe a financial advisor, you're gonna splurge a little bit. Yeah. And then Wicked, Beehive, we know the boys are coming. Yeah. the boys are coming. And then let's be honest, we're gonna have our own fun too.
Right.
So shoot, man, 50, I'm looking at about 15, 20 after you
done did everything.
Yeah, but then, now we getting a knowledge, all of us now, how to invest, how to put some money aside. And the main thing I see now is, them yes men that we all done had before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to eliminate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we think we invincible when we get this money in our hand. Think about it, man. That's a high by itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Having millions of dollars and having,
fame.
All that. That's a high.
Come on.
So you got to have the right folks around you, man. But shoot, 25, about 15.
Were you surrounded with the right team around you? As you reflect back on your life, if you could change something, would you have changed your support system? I ain't talking about your family.
Yeah.
We already know that's a given.
Yeah.
But the people around you, because I ain't a Quincy Carter. I ain't never made nowhere near the type of money you've made. Yeah. But the little money I have made, I was the first person probably in my family with a nice house, and I, a 4 or 5 bedroom house. I had niggas staying there with me, man. The 3, 4 cars, niggas driving my cars and shit. Nigga, when I went broke, niggas gave me their ass to kiss.
Hey, the whole ass.
Yeah.
The whole ass. Yes, they did. Hey, yes, they did.
The younger athletes that are coming in the league, you're 18, 19, you got all this money, especially with the NIL deals and stuff now. Is that a lot of stress on somebody 18, 19-year-old to be walking around here with millions and millions of dollars and is famous for it?
Yeah.
Is that a setup for failure?
Yes and no. And the yes part of it, because you are so young, you are so gullible. You haven't even, experienced life, and the things that life's gonna throw at you. And to throw that in an 18, 19-year-old face, it's a lot, because you're basically coming into manhood yourself. Right. And so some of the people that are good for you, you kick out the door and don't give a deaf ear to, because you're trying to do what you want to do and not what's best for you, and then you got the yes men that are around you that ain't helping. But then you don't understand how critical this time is. it's when I think back about it, the 1.5 million signing bonus I think I signed for, man, heck, I don't think I seen but what 600,000-700,000 of that. Man, that should have I'm talking about completely just went in the bank. And got a house, mortgaged it or what have you, and just understood, I ain't got time or money, to be splurging to everybody else, because that ain't no money.
Right.
But man, when you're young, you don't understand that. So yes, it is a detriment for them to have it, but no, because that's the world we live in now. And we've got younger men and women that are able to access, careers a lot younger, than normally you go back 30 years from now. So getting those, money management courses in high school that they can get now, getting around the right people, growing up quicker now is a thing.
Right.
So no, it's not a detriment, because they got to learn now. College ain't for everybody either, Wicked. It's so many different avenues and ways to get money now.
Yeah. Right.
And have careers. So no, it's not a detriment, because this is the world we live in, but it's who has the education and listening and have the right people around them, to support them, to go on and be successful. And maybe you don't make it in football, because you got that NIL money. But now you're an entrepreneur. Now you're doing different things and different revenues of income, because you were able to be smart and listen to the right people.
Wow. Oh, I got one more.
Come on with it.
If Quincy Carter, let's go back to Colin Kaepernick. He's in the league.
Yep.
We all know the situation. He took a knee.
Yep.
If this Quincy Carter right here was in the league right now, does this Quincy Carter take a knee versus the rookie Quincy Carter for the Dallas Cowboys, or would you take a knee on both Quincy's?
Man, Wicked, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I got to be honest with you. I just don't know. But first off, let me say this, and this is for anybody national anthem, and I've always stood on this right now. I mean, this right here, all right? It was just the wrong time as far as when he took the knee, doing the national anthem. That's like if we got a African national anthem and somebody take a knee, somebody white take a knee during Sudan's national anthem. You know what I mean? Like, that's the pride and fabric of our country. Now, were we, a part of that plan? Hell no, we wasn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so people don't understand that, they want to just dismiss slavery and say that was years ago and all that. But no, we've got family and lineages of our people that suffered through that and still dealing with, some of the systematic, racism. Yeah, that's passed down from generation to generation. Do we have a better opportunity? Yes, but you can't dismiss that. So that's my quick little history lesson right there. Yeah. But anyway, so I thought it was just the wrong timing. I don't know if I sacrificed my family, knowing what I do know now.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I sacrificed my family and my career, taking that knee, if I'm never gonna get a job again. See, I know too much now to answer that question.
Right.
So it would, you know what I mean? Like, like I'm a little man, I ain't gonna play no more football no more. Wicked,
I feel you.
So I don't know, because
it's just real.
Yeah, because now I'm stopping, honestly, my family from eating.
Yeah.
My grandkids from eating. I'm the breadwinner in my family.
Right.
And ain't nobody, God bless me to bless my family. I understand that now. Right. I can't just hand it all out at one time. So it's hard to answer that question now. Now that I know what the consequence,
happens,
and it's wicked. People and people want to talk about Kaepernick's last year before he never played again. Look at his stats.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
Kaepernick got some good numbers.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? They weren't winning games, but he had the numbers. And we the ones, black folks be the ones talking about, oh, he didn't have, he wasn't good anymore. No, stop it.
Yeah.
No. So that's a tough one, Wicked.
Well, yeah, think they'll let him back in the league?
Kaepernick?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Why wouldn't they let him back in? It seems like the temperature has changed just a little bit. You know, even Jerry brought the guys out and they all kneeled together. And I want to ask you about Jerry too. What is Jerry really like?
Honestly, man, that's a cool dude. Like, I literally went to his house, had lunch with him. You know, I mean, he really cares about his players. Now, he loves business and the fabric of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, he's a true businessman. All right. But for somebody, you know, and I can't get these stories from no former players that they went to the owner's house, that the owner is calling you in his office. And yes, I was the quarterback, but still it's business though, you know. But he's walking on the field, you know, knowing that, hey, I am a black quarterback for him. And then he put me in this. But hey, Q, what's going on? You all right? You good? All right, man, good to see you. You know what I mean? Yeah, see, I got that, you know, from him. And then let's be honest with you, he gave me the opportunity of a lifetime, came and got me from Decatur and said, hey, I want you to be my starting quarterback, and reiterated what he wanted, you know, in me, you know, knowing Coach Donnan he had ties to, Coach Bill Parcells, who had ties to Coach Donnan, and knew, you know, what I was about, knew Coach Godfrey, because Coach Godfrey, you know, Coach Hassan, which Hassan played for Bill Parcells in a Super Bowl. So they came back and did the homework, and that's who he wanted me. And so I had, you know, a really good relationship with him, though. You know what I mean? Now, it's business, and, you know, Jerry's going to make sure, you know, that the Dallas Cowboys is in their headlines. That's him, you know, but I had a good relationship with him.
You get the call from the Cowboys, you know what I'm saying, they finna draft you. Were you in a green room at the time, or were you at home? But what is that like getting, because none of us would never know that.
Yeah.
What is said on that phone call? What do y'all, I probably would have fainted. You know what I'm saying? That's like I'll tell people this right now. I could either die from negative stress or hitting the lottery.
Positive stress.
Positive stress. I had the lottery running. Oh, Lord.
This the big one.
Yeah. What is that like to get the call, bro? And for your family, too. When they like, we rich. Chris Tucker said when I first got that first money, everybody come and say, we rich. No, motherfucker, I'm rich. But tell me, how is Quincy Carter feeling when you get a call? You know you're going to the most famous sports franchise arguably in the world, in all sports.
Yeah.
America's team.
America's team. What's
Straight
that
up.
pressure like, and how did Quincy feel when you got that call?
Well, I knew, Thursday before the draft, because the relationship with my agent, Eugene Parker, rest in heaven. You know, he had Dion, had Emmett, had, you know, a few other Cowboys. So I knew beforehand. It was just a matter of, you know, where they were going to pick me in the second round, because we didn't have a first round pick. We had a second round pick. So we had the second round pick. So they kept trading down or whatever during the draft. But I knew on Thursday, you know, so it was kind of bittersweet for me a little bit. But now the reality still wasn't reality until I got that phone call. You know what I mean? Because they can tell you anything. Yeah. But, you know, my agent assured it though. But no, we was at the house. Okay. Yeah, we was at the house in Decatur, and I had about 40, 50 people over there. And my mom, as soon as they made the call, my mom I'm talking about, went crazy. As far as getting everybody to shut up first. Shut up. And so she made sure that I was in the room with just her. And I don't know if you heard some story about Mama, but Mama don't play. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that thing was private with just me and her. Yeah. But shoot, well, I think I can hear Jerry in my ear right now. Congratulations, Quincy. You are a Dallas Cowboy.
Wow.
So yeah, man, it was surreal. But I gotta be honest with you, man. Like everything for me at that particular time, like going into that junior year, I wanted to be the first pick of the draft. So so having Mike, you know, being the first pick here in Atlanta, in my city, you know, and getting that call, like as happy as I was, man, shoot, I was ready to go though. I was like, hey, when do I get to Dallas and then prove to everybody? Because then I started hearing I'm sitting there watching the broadcast, and then who was it? What's my man? Mel
Kiper.
Yeah, Mel Kiper, worst pick ever, and this and that. Yeah. And then kind of dipping in the little blogs or whatever we had back then and seeing what everybody was saying. I said, all right, that's what y'all think? Let's go. So as happy as I was on that day, I was ready to go play some football too.
When you touched down on that field, though, man, I mean, the speed of the sport, did it speed up from college to the NFL? How was that transition?
Well, it was phases of it, though, Beehive. It was phases of it because the preseason, practice, was just a little bit faster.
Okay.
Then you get to the preseason game, it's kind of like intense. Tennessee, Georgia, you know what I mean, battle, because you playing against a couple twos, you ain't playing against all the starters. And I'll never forget Darren Woodson told me right before that first game, he said, Q, you ain't seen nothing like this now, all right? This thing this Sunday, all right, it's going to be another speed. And I swear to God, my first snap, because I'm playing against Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Derrick Brooks. First game of my career. And they had just came off that Super Bowl. The first snap, I'm up on the center. I remember the play like it's yesterday. 34, lead or whatever, the Emmett. But in the corner of my eye, I got Simeon on my left side. In the corner of my eye, as soon as I snap it, I just see a blur. Ooh-wee. Hey, man, that thing went to a whole nother notch, man. That was a little rough game for me, too. I think I was like 6 or 7 for like 15, 2 picks, 40 whole David and Goliath yards.
What's the hardest hit you? The hardest person that ever hit you was who?
Mike Strahan. Yeah, I'm talking about. And what's crazy? Listen, man. Yeah, man. Straight. And look, Stray guy name was Country Strong. Mike Strahan. He a Texas boy too. Well, that too. But he a Texas boy too, ain't he? I think so, cause I know he went to Texas Southern though. Okay. But no, he just he caught me in my ribs, and I'm a right hander, of course. But you really see that peripheral right there on your front side. But man, somehow he caught me in my rookie year. Shoot, I had to wear like a little flight jacket for about 2-3 weeks.
When you get hit like that, do you let them know, Quincy? Do you, or you get up and act like it went there, like good God?
No, you take a little breath on that one right there. No, I had to take a little breath on that one. But shoot, it wasn't nothing that was broke and couldn't have me out there playing. So, you got to keep going.
Playing through the pain, though, at the same time, though, too. What was that like, and what were the games where you like, man, I'm out here broken trying to play this damn game?
Man, I tell my boys to this day right now, you'll never play football fully healthy. You something to be nagging at you. But one thing about our sport, you learn as you continue to grow of, how to play through injuries. You know what I mean? And our, time, if it ain't broke and you can be out there, you find a way. And that was our mentality. Heck, that was my mentality, and I hate to keep bragging about it and bringing it up, but that was our mentality at Southwest DeKalb. That's what we had, that mental toughness. So I tell them, man, you ain't gonna never play this game fully healthy. You're just not. Yeah.
Growing up, though, going from Southwest, the UGA to the Cowboys, the people around you, at what moment did you realize that the change was happening? Because, you know, they love to say that you changed.
Oh, yeah.
But then a lot of times it's the people around you that change because of what's changing for you.
Yep. Man, as soon as I got drafted, yeah, it was a different feel. You know, I didn't grow up a Cowboys fan. You know, so you know, I seen some of the Super Bowls. What I think they came here right before I graduated. I think it was '94, '95 Super Bowl. Forgot which one it was when they played Buffalo. So I didn't really understand the magnitude of it. You know, honestly, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't a Cowboys fan. I knew it was America's team. You know, but. Hell, I mean, the Braves was America's team.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know what I mean?
That's
yeah,
true.
shoot. And I was, Dion Sanders was my, idol. So, you know, I already had who my idols was and who I thought was important to me, so I didn't understand it, but the people around me, they knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but man, I always had those dreams. We talked about that earlier, and so it did. And I don't want to diminish, what the Cowboys are to America, but me, back home here in Decatur, like my dream was to make it. And get on the field on Sundays and play and be a starter, be a franchise quarterback, get to that second contract that I never did, because of my bonehead mistakes or what have you. But that was my dream. So, I end up learning, honestly, how much it meant after playing with the Dallas Cowboys. As crazy as that, man, because it's 2009 and 10, and I'm going through, my addiction and some really hard times in my life, and then people, still giving me love of what I meant and who, I actually played for. You know what I mean? But when I was in the trenches of it, it was about just continuously to win games and play on Sundays and make, the home team happy. You know what I mean? And proud of me. Yeah. And that's what I was on.
When the money came in, man, how did your life change, and what were some of the first things that you did with it?
Man, you know something was crazy because I had $450,000 at 18 years old. So it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like
change.
It really wasn't. I wasn't flashy. I remember I got one pair of rims in college on my I had a Tahoe. Yeah. Driving like I don't never drive before, driving actually like I'm leaving the gate. Wicked. Yeah, wicked. You already know. So and I wasn't, I wasn't the street boy, so I wasn't living, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't, I mean, I'm around it, but that wasn't my lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so whipping some curves like I ain't supposed to, but anyway, end up busting two pair of rims or two set of tires, and never got rims before. And so to this day I've never had rims. I always just wanted a little necklace with the cross on it. Right. So, it wasn't you know what I mean, let's go buy everything, for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was still laid back with it.
What about taking care of the fam and the friends then?
I did that too much. I did that too much. And I don't regret it, to be honest with you. I don't, because I made it. Now everybody wasn't there to put clothes on my back and food, in my stomach, but you feel that, you feel that pressure, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you want to give back love. You understand that you made it, and you want to give that love back. Yeah. But honestly, that was too much. You know what I mean? And it was. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. You know what I mean? Some of them would say, "Hey, we should have saved some of that money. We should have went and got a apartment complex and start a duplex and start renting things out." You know what I mean? But we young. We not as educated as we are now with the financial literacy and us, and us being able to be on our phones and see much more either. You know what I mean? It was just conversation. What we had a fax machine and and a little bit of emailing. What emailing came in what late 90s, 2000. You know what I mean? So, but our knowledge and what we see has expanded so much. So we do have that. But you go back and wish you would have saved some of them dollars. I know I would.
Well, that's right. This is going to be, stay with me on this right here. And this will probably be my last one I wanted to ask you, Quincy. When you see, first let me rewind it. Let me take you back to T.O. T.O. and Chad Ochocinco. Chad got the podcast now with Shannon Sharp.
Yep.
Back in the day, you would see, them doing the pom-poms, the popcorn. It was frowned upon then.
Yep.
Now it's on every video game. When you score, you're doing the dirty bird. It's a part of it. But they were showing back then. Fast forward to right now, they had a show Undisputed where Shannon Sharp got into it with Skip Bayless because he was talking about Tom Brady, and Skip took offense to that. So my question would be to you is this. Just because a young black man makes money and makes it to a league like that, do you still feel like being in the league, they would text him for being 1 minute late. They would do this they felt like, if I give you this money, I own you.
Yeah.
Is that a feeling?
It is.
Wow.
It is, and being young, we don't understand the business of it. You know what I mean? Like it's two ways to look at it. And I don't think well, I just say for me, being so young, I didn't understand the fabric of business of being a quarterback in the NFL. So it is, where you do feel, like, wait a minute, I've made it. I can make decisions that I want to make, on my own. But now you got to understand now, it's consequences for them decisions. And will you make them same decisions being a 46 Quincy going back to being, that 23-year-old Quincy?
Right.
Will I, be smoking weed and doing some of the things that I was doing, knowing of what I meant, not only to Decatur, but to the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean? So it's two different ways of looking at it now because, hell, Wicked, we still here.
Right.
We got the knowledge, we got the wisdom, of what not and what's smart and what's not. So we looking through we're looking at a different lens at it now. You know what I mean?
But when you're sitting there looking at these shows of, either podcasters or FS1s, ESPN, and you see a lot of these guys like myself that never played pro ball, never even played college ball, and I'm sitting up and I'm critiquing Quincy Carter.
Yep.
I even may make it a little personal. How do you feel about that when you see athletes? Because I sat right here and I told Kwame Brown, I said, Kwame, anybody that has made it to the NFL, the NBA, the break, y'all are already legends. Y'all already made it before you get there. We can't. Me and B, I didn't make it. You understand what I'm saying? And when you seeing people like me and B-High critiquing T.O., critiquing Shannon Sharp, how do you feel about that?
Everybody got a voice.
Yeah.
Honestly. And that's just the way I look at it, and people,
Kevin
people
Durant hates it. He go on his Kevin Durant on his fake page and come in and cuss your ass out about it.
Quick. Yeah.
Come on.
But now it's a different time for him too now, because they getting a lot more than what I was getting, with Twitter, Instagram, you know what I mean? Everybody got a voice. You know what I mean? Everybody got a microphone. But what's real, to me. And so my chemical makeup was different. You know what I mean? Just like, we talked about earlier about getting that note, you know what I mean? That was the first time it was like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Right.
Other than that, I heard it, you know what I mean? But, I tuned it out. So, man, everybody got a voice, man. And,
is that something that you could do, though? Is that something that you could see yourself doing in the future? Sitting up there on these networks Sunday morning critiquing some of the younger players.
Absolutely.
Even though you like that athlete, but you still have to, keep it 100 with them.
You do. And listen, I want to do it. But, sometimes I get too political a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, but when I say political, I mean, I got respect, for what, just like some of your rappers, you got respect for guys that they putting in the grind.
Right.
Yeah.
And, sometimes everybody don't make it, or sometimes you make mistakes, or your business. So I know what everybody's facing and what they're going through. So, but yeah, it's definitely something I want to get into, though.
You got, this is going to be my last one.
Now, take your time, man. I'm here.
I have a friend. It's 4th and 20. All the kids are looking for Christmas gifts if the quarterback and the receiver can score this touchdown. Now, the receiver is Andre Rison. He breaks out wide. The quarterback is Quincy Carter. And the DB is Brian B. Hightower. Quincy, all the kids gonna get gifts for Is B. High gonna be able to break the pass? Because he say he gonna pick 6 you. He gonna jam Dre, pick 6 you, and Dion all the way to the end zone.
B. High about to get tore up.
Damn!
Hey. I'm getting ready to have a Maze flashback on it.
Hell no! Man. Now, I'm gonna let you have that one.
I had to do it.
Now he gets it every time. Okay. Did your idols become rivals when you got to the league, though, Quincy? I mean, was it all love, or was it some shit in the game?
Man, I ain't have no friends on that football field. Yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, man, and just like I don't know how it would take this day and age with everybody exchanging jerseys and all that.
I got my jersey right there. My card jersey. Don't you take my jersey.
Man, I gotta process this thing, especially if I lose now. Yeah, I gotta process this thing. So. So man, it was always all business for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who were some of the players that you were able to meet that showed the love, though, that you respected, that you, like you say, Dion was one of them ones, man. Did you ever get a chance to chop it up with Dion?
I did, man. Me and Dion had the same agent. So Dion used to bring us out to his house.
Yeah.
Every year. Me, Chad Johnson, Santana Moss, Champ Bailey.
Yeah.
So we'll have a little, 2-day, quarterback receiver, cornerback little clinic. You know what I mean? Dion was always that dude, man.
What's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory with Dion?
Yeah, and across the board on top of that.
Has Dion ever picked you? Because I know he played for the Cowboys for a minute.
Yeah. I almost played him when I was with the Jets, and he was with Baltimore.
He was with Baltimore.
And he got hurt the week before, and that was my first start with the Jets. Man, I almost played against him. Almost. My fondest memory with Dion, man, probably that first time I went over to his house, man. Yeah, and we just chopped it up, man, and just just seeing how humble he is, because you done been around him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be around him when the TVs come on, and him just being prime, but to be in his own domain, and just seeing how humble he is, man, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Quincy, I know that I'm gonna let you go on this, brother. I know that that you done been through a lot, and I have too. And so I don't want to sit here and we get into feeling a pity party for ourselves.
No,
what we
at all.
did. My question to you is, when you look in the kids' eyes right now that you're coaching right now, what do those kids do for you, with knowing that they're looking up to you, and that even no matter what we have done or what we didn't do in life, what we didn't get right, we can get it right through those kids.
Yeah.
We can make it right.
Yeah.
Do you feel that when every time that you step out on that field with the kids and they looking up to you like, you know what, it's all good now. I'm in a good place in life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Wick. I feel it when I'm away from them too. Because you always know, all right, what energy you bring that next day, is what they gonna feed off of. So filling my spirit with God, meditating, doing the little things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what you just said it, man, they give you joy, you know what I mean? Because, and you just said it. We did some things, me falling into my addiction, was self-inflicted, Now, there's some unfortunate things happened to us with people and this and that, but it was self-inflicted, I chose, to start smoking, and it lead me down, the road of cocaine and X and heavy alcohol drinking. But they know that too, now, but they're looking in your eyes to see, and looking for some wisdom of how they can stray away from it. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest blessing, man. It really is. And I never thought I'd be able to say this, though, is that now, what I'm using for what was so just demoralizing to me, now I'm using it to uplift a young man and to help him and to keep him away from the dangers of what they facing. Because Beehive, Wick, just think about it, man. If we in high school and the world is telling you marijuana is legal and the dangers of what they're smoking, the potency of it, and what they facing, and these pills and prescription drugs and all, social media, you go on Instagram, you just looking at women and look what they facing, man.
Yeah.
But go through what I've been able to go through to make, the mistakes I've been able to make, and God just give me the grace to come give it back and to save his kids. And you're not gonna save all of them, but it's a feeling that you can't describe sometimes, man. But what you getting when that young man comes to you and thank you, when you teaching a drill or something, and then they actually go out and do it on the field. Yeah. You know what I mean? It ain't even about bragging. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what I'm here for.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Chris. I want to tell you that before on camera. Even though I'm older than you, I'm your OG.
Yeah.
I still look up to you.
Oh, that's great.
You make all us proud in Decatur, and like I said, all of y'all, man, Southwest DeKalb, man, put us on the map.
That's love.
I don't think you understand how big that run was that y'all had on the state championships with Godfrey, with all the great players that came out of there. It was just wow.
Hey, that's love.
I gotta ask this though, Quincy, as a coach, dealing with the youth, man, what is it like for you when you see somebody got all of the skills, but they ain't trying to hear nothing?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And do you have to just say, you could have been the greatest of all time, but you just don't want to be?
You see you, Beehive. You see some of the things that you done did.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get to them? How do you get to that young man that is smoking marijuana and the dangers it's gonna lead him to?
Yeah.
So you see you and you get that wisdom from the man to be able to give it to him. It's some of the most random times where I'm just riding in the car and it flashes in front of me. It happened today, me riding down here, and I was thinking about a young man that wasn't, mentally looked like he was, in the right space. And so I made a phone call just to,
check him.
ask his mom, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? So you just, you innately, when you all the way in it and you love it, you innately, get these answers from God and the wisdom from it. And man, you just know that, okay, what what words would have been good for me at this particular time.
Yeah.
And it's just, it all comes back to you. What do they really need? What's the home life like? You know what I mean? We can go on and on, man.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Because, man, I'm going to shut up here in a second if I can.
You keep on talking. We here for it.
But the feeling, man, and the know, you know what I mean? You've been in them shoes, and you've done some of this dumb stuff, you know, and now how do you reach them and how do you get to them, man? It's indescribable.
Who was there for you during those times, and at what moment did you realize, oh shit, I done went too far? You feel me?
Man, when I really think back, man, and we're talking when I knew I was in trouble is really before training camp. Before training camp in 2002, and I was the last group of players, you know, my position, kickers and quarterbacks, to get tested. You know, and I was still trying to smoke and be slick and this and that, and I waited about a week before training camp to try to clean up. You know what I mean? And knowing that's the test going into training camp that I failed, but just, you know, not, you know, being smart, man. And then some other things maybe factoring in or whatever, but I don't like to make no excuses though. But that's when I knew. But no, I always had Coach Godfrey. I always had Steve Davenport in my life. You know, some of my teammates. But you know, when you doing slick things, you hide from the people that's best for you.
Wow.
And let's just be honest with you. Your mental state is different. You know what I mean? What you want to, or what you're allowed to come in between your ears now is different. You know what I mean? Because you ain't in that same mental space. If we can all go back to, you know, that age where we thought everything that was good for us was coming in and we were absorbing that wisdom and knowledge, heck, we'll all go back there. Let's just be honest. And I think it's about 14, 15 for me. When, you know, when I was getting ready, probably in the 10th grade, when I was getting ready to start, you know, really starting at Southwest DeKalb. You know what I mean? We'll all go back there. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, we older. We got the wisdom now. We know, you know, what's good, what's bad, you know, what life is really about, what's our purpose. You know what I mean? We know it now. So
at what point did you realize that this got to stop and turn it around, and how the hell did you turn it around?
I had a couple moments, Beehive. One is when I was in that office with Jerry Jones. And I ended up getting cut, you know, that day in August 4th, 2004.
Take us there, Quincy.
Man, it was dark, you know, but I'll take you back to the knock on the door. You know, at 5:36 in the morning. Because they said, we're going to do this thing early. We ain't going to have no reporters out here. We going to go early. So it's 5:36 in the morning. Hey, well, it's California time. And getting that knock at the door and like, who the heck at my door this early? And me thinking maybe, you know what I mean, I'm getting a little surprise or something. One of them good surprises. But anyway, in training camp, one of them early massages. But seeing, we call him the Turk too, with the man who cut you. We call him the Turk is coming. And then him asking for my playbook, and I'm like, whoa, you know, my playbook. But something happened before, that night before. I didn't scrimmage in the first scrimmage of training camp, you know, because they found out that I failed a test, and so I was gonna have a 4-game fine, but I wasn't suspended. But, you know, they was getting other people ready. Vinny Testaverde, who was eventually started that year, they was getting other people ready because they didn't know if I was going to fail another one. So I was pissed off about not, you know, scrimmaging. So I'm in the team meeting room, and not team meeting room, the quarterback meeting room, we watching film. And Sean Payton asked me, at the time I was my quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, he asked me, hey, man, you're not going to watch the film. And so like a little kid, I got my head on the desk. And I say, no, coach, I'm not on there. You know what I mean? Because I'm pissed off at somebody because they won't give me the reps because I didn't put myself in a position, you know what I mean, for them to do that. Let's just be honest, Yeah. And so I did that. He runs out the room, make a long story short, go talk to Coach Parcells before the team meeting. Coach Parcells was looking at me all crazy when I came in the team meeting. And that, I think right after that team meeting, they had that meeting that night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, what are we doing with our starting quarterback? And so they made the decision. But no, it was demoralizing, man. It was demoralizing, sitting on the phone with my agent. He was on speakerphone. I can remember it like it's yesterday. Sitting on the phone with my agent and Jerry, and them telling me, hey, we got to go another direction. And then walking out that door, man, knowing that my life is different. Like the cat out's the bag now, everybody knows, right. You know what I mean? And so it was that moment that I knew something had to be different, by the grace of God, man. I didn't fail another test, went to the Jets about 3 weeks later. But after that season, man, they took everything in me not to, revert back or fail another test that whole season. But that off season, man, that's when things really started to go downhill for me. So, it was 2005, I had a moment. But at this point, I'm taking every, thing in me, you know what I mean, to try to pick my head up knowing that I didn't let everybody down who ever believed in Quincy Carter, you know what I mean? And that's what I was feeling. And so I had that moment of, man, we got to do things different. But now, because I'm in the thick of my addiction, so now it ain't just a little weed smoking. Now, I'm using coke and heavy drinking and just to, you know what I mean, to take that pain away. Yeah, so it was that moment, a couple moments there. Man, I had a moment in 14, because I went to 7-8 rehabs, man, trying to get this thing right. But I never put 2 feet in because now I got a full-blown addiction that, like, I got to work these steps. Right. You know what I mean? I got to use AA to get me back to God, which, I had lost that relationship with him. So, but I never put 2 feet in, understanding that this thing is real. It ain't just, Q, you go to rehab and, we can get back out and smoke. No, because it ain't just smoking no more. Right. I want the whole trifecta,
Right.
No, seriously.
No, I understand. I get it. They say it's a gateway.
Listen, we laughed at that. We laughed at that, didn't we? It's a gateway to this. We laughed at that thing. Yeah. But no, it's real. Yeah. And so it took me all the way to 18, to really say, Q, bro, like, I mean, like, for real, I don't know, like, God talking to me. I don't know what I can tell you, but it ain't gonna be but one way for you. Yeah. And honestly, it ain't but one way, for you to get back on track. And for me, it was through AA first, going to rehab. And then in the steps, I can give you a whole, a sermon on these steps too, because boy, they special. But going through step 3 and, knowing that, I had to have something outside of myself, you know what I mean, to take everything away from me and relying on God's will to do that, I had to buy all in. And that's when the real change mentally started happening for me. But it took, me that was 04, it took me 12 years, man, to really, get both feet in. Yep. I know that was a long-winded answer, but that's how deep it was.
With your hindsight being 2020 though, Quincy, what do you think it was about you and in you that allowed you to be great though? Because a lot of folks pick up that football. I picked up that football week.
At Mays?
Okay, but at Ben Hill. That was the last time I played. Okay. But I was the MVP at Ben Hill. I got the trophy at my mama's house. It was 10 and under.
How old were you?
10.
Okay.
I was 10.
He got a participation trophy. We
didn't have a participation
We all
trophy
got a
back then.
participation trophy. I ain't even playing. I got a participation trophy.
See that. Back to my question. At what point did you realize it was in you, or what do you think it was about you that allowed you to transcend to the levels that you got to, though?
That's a good ass question, Beehive. I think a couple things. It was my focus, and it was my determination and discipline. Like I had my eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
I was around some great ones too, and not just Southwest DeKalb. I'm talking about the park, the Mike Johnsons of the world. Shout out to Mike Johnson, because he ended up playing at Hampton, but he started over me every year at Gresham Park. But it motivated me. The Chip Hooks, the Jerome Weeks, the folks who really inspired you to be great. But man, it was my focus. It was seeing the things around me to know and to get from what I really needed. You know what I mean? To continue on that path of trying to make it. Always being like meeting Billy White Shoes when I was
Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Yes. When I was 18, 19, and I was in baseball, but being able to meet him and then him training me and my rest in heaven to my best receiver, Marco Shepard, who actually played with T.O. up at UTC, but training us and always asking questions, seeking out, Eugene Parker because of Dion and him playing baseball and football. So it was my focus, my determination, and then, man, honestly too, I had a mama that was a strong Christian and always had me focused on God too. Which should have been first, but it didn't happen like that. But you know what I mean? But having me locked in to what was really important. Now I drifted a little bit, but you know what I mean? Yeah, that was important.
Lastly, how can these folks contact you if they want to holler at you though, Quincy?
Man, the easiest way I would say through my website, QuincyCarter17.com.
Also, the Quincy Carter Foundation, man. We got to talk about that too as well. So what's going on with that?
Man, listen, I had an idea about 2-3 years ago. How I wanted to help my community, what things really mattered to me, and the 2-3 things that stuck out was my recovery. How can I help people in recovery? And so we promote drug-free, neighborhoods. We talk about recovery through my camps, through my clinics. I go out and do speaking engagement, podcasts like this. So we're dipping into baseball now because it's really been just all football. And 25, we'll be having baseball camps, baseball clinics. We're going to start sponsoring people to be able to help them financially in sober homes as they transition from rehab. We put on turkey drives, which we just did at Southwest DeKalb. We got a scholarship foundation that we do in March, April, when this graduating class getting ready to graduate. So it's various other things too that I'm just not mentioning right now. But we want to hit the fabric, of what I'm about, and that's giving back to these kids the real knowledge of other, game of football and baseball, and then also, helping people in recovery and getting their life back on track.
Well, I want to be definitely, I'm telling you right now on air, I ain't gonna say it off air, I want to be a part of all that.
Hey.
Anything that you need me for, you call me. I think I speak for Beehive too.
I'm here for it.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
And I mean that. I ain't just, I ain't doing the Varnell. Remember Varnell on Martin? We just tell you anything. I ain't doing Varnell. I'm dead serious.
Hey.
I want to be involved in whatever you're involved in. You know what I'm saying? We Decatur.
Yeah, I appreciate
Get it
that,
till we
man.
die.
Yep. Hey.
I always try to do some Decatur shit in here.
Hey.
Quincy, appreciate you, man.
Man, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate
You
y'all.
already know what time it is.
Good
Be
to
how
go.
many yo shout at Big Galaxy, Quincy Carter. We gone.